wish I was ignorant sometimes. Instead, I'm scared. I'm so scared. I'm scared to date people because it feels like somehow things have gone so wrong that unhealthy relationships are the new normal and healthy relationships are hard to find. I'm scared to go out in public because I don't want to be caught in the crossfire of a mass shooting. I'm scared to walk alone by myself outside at night. I'm scared that if I say the wrong things, I'll be canceled by the internet and everyone will hate me. The world is a scary place to be growing up in, especially right now. Ignorance is bliss only sounds good in practice though, because there comes a time where that bliss is stripped away, and for me, it was when I realized I was in love with someone who was abusing me. At the time, I did not know that there were red flags I could have looked out for. I did not know that it had a name, and I did not know that over 40% of women in college experience dating violence. Sure, I'd heard about domestic violence, but I thought that only happened when you were married. I didn't realize it could happen in high school or college. Once I realized I was experiencing an abusive relationship, I did not leave. Instead, I decided that I would make it my personal mission over the next few years to help him change, to help him become better. Ultimately, I came to the harsh reality that trying to get someone else to change for you is like trying to win the lottery. You can't get someone else to change for you, they have to want to change for themselves. In the end, ignorance nearly cost my life, and I remember being choked on the floor of my closet, thinking the last words I would ever hear are, "If I can't have you, nobody can. I'm going to kill you and then kill myself." Although I could not change my college boyfriend's abusive and violent behavior, what I could change was the way that we show up for young people experiencing victimization. 2.5 years ago, I turned my pain into passion because I knew that something had to be done, that no one should ever have to experience what I experienced. And so I began applying to organizations that assist victims, but again and again, I was met with the barrier of being underqualified. I didn't have enough experience in victim advocacy, I didn't have my master's in social work, and I was not old enough. Apparently, being a survivor was not enough. After weeks of frustration, fate finally stepped in the form of an organization called Bloom 365. The first organization I had ever seen that was training young people in victim advocacy. 2.5 years later, I'm now the digital outreach manager at Bloom 365, an organization that prevents and responds to the root causes in young people ages 11 to 24. The first organization that made me realize that anyone can be an advocate. The more I've gotten involved with advocacy and activism, the more I've started to question why we are tasked with fixing everything, but we are continuously dismissed. When I say we, I mean Gen Z, those of us who were born between 1997 and 2012. There's this invisible pressure that weighs heavily on our generation that we need to fix all of the world's problems, whether that's mass shootings, particularly those that are happening in our own schools, climate change because we want a livable future, inclusivity, inclusivity because our generation is more accepting, eradicating racism because somehow that still exists, and uprooting abuse in a generation. If you look it up, there are tons of articles on how we are primed to save the world, how we are supposed to fix everything. We have this social consciousness that makes us involved in advocacy. If you want to ask me the reason that we're involved in this work, it's simple. It hasn't been done yet, we're stressed out, and many of us are being directly impacted by it. Did you know that according to the American Psychological Association, that 75% of Gen Z is stressed about mass shootings, and 53% of us are stressed about sexual harassment and assault? Almost every person in my generation that I know has experienced some form of victimization, whether that's dating violence, domestic violence, sexual harassment, stalking, sexual violence, bullying, or family violence. This does not seem normal, and this should not be normal. This week, you have the opportunity to elevate your impact, the chance to involve young people in the conversation, figure out ways you can bring young people onto your team, and think about solutions about preventing victimization where it often starts at an early age. If I could have all of the young people who range from 13 to 18 years old, please stand up. As a part of the Teen Track Peer Advocate Academy, a unique partnership between Bloom 365 and NOVA that trains teens to become victim advocates in their own high schools and communities. Here and around the world, they will mobilize to prevent the root causes of interpersonal violence, get trained on how to support peers who have experienced unhealthy or abusive relationships or friendships, and become activists on their school campuses by leading awareness campaigns. Together, we are the next generation of victim advocacy, and we are living proof that anyone can be an advocate. Thank you.